I'm Jeff Hickman. I'm the executive producer for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
So we have a few questions regarding the free-to-play option that will be coming this fall.
Right.
So first of all, the announcement was kind of unexpected. Why did BioWare choose to change the economic model so quickly?
It's a great question. So if you look at what the last 6 months or 7 months since launch have been for us, it's been a lot of analyzing how players are playing, what they're interested in, what they want to do and what they don't want to do. And it became very obvious to us very quickly that players nowadays really want to try out the game before they commit to paying for it. And as people left the game, one of the biggest things that they said, and they did not say things like, "I don't like the game." In general, they love the game, but they would definitely say that the subscription is a big step for them. And a lot of today's gamers didn't feel comfortable with that. Didn't feel comfortable applying kind of that credit card and committing themselves to that recurring subscription. And so we've been looking really hard at it actually for quite a while, and it was like, you know what, we should do this. It's time. It's the right thing to do, and we think it's the way for the future for MMOs like this.
Thank you. When the game will be with the free-to-play option, the advantages for the subscription players, the player who pay a monthly fee, will be a limitless access to operations, flashpoints, and war zones. Are there any other advantages to go to the subscription fee?
Oh, sure. Yeah. So. We haven't fully announced all the restrictions to the free-to-play players or all of the advantages to the subscription players, but there are quite a few restrictions to the free-to-play player, where we want you to be able to play to level 50 and really enjoy the primary content, the story content that we think is so great in the game. But there will be a lot of restrictions around how you can do that, whether it's war zones or flashpoints or bank slots or the legacy system. Like, there's a lot of things that we're looking at to restrict, and we'll have more information about that as we move forward. As a subscription player, you not only are you not restricted on any of those things, but we also will be giving you, I think, a pretty generous allowance of Cartel market coins that you'll have every month that you can go and buy some of the great things that are on the microtransaction marketplace in the game. And so it's an opportunity for you to go buy consumables or buy vanity items and get some of the cool stuff that we're going to offer.
Ever since the announcement for the free-to-play option, a lot of players are stopping their subscription or want to stop them until the free-to-play option is available. What are your arguments to convince them to stay on the game until the option?
Well, first of all, what's the right way to say this? Not a lot of people are stopping their subscription. So we're not actually seeing that problem at all. As a matter of fact, I'd say it's as stable or more stable than it's ever been. But to your question about why people should remain subscribing, I think the biggest reason right now is you continue to get to enjoy the game. You continue to get to enjoy some of the content, or all of the content updates that we are now accelerating on. So we started with the Chevin event this month, and after this we will have new content updates at least every 6 weeks moving forward. And so you're going to see much more frequent content updates as a player. Plus, as a player right now, you're actually earning Cartel market coins right now, so that when we go to our free-to-play model, you'll have quite a bit of these things to spend immediately upon launch of free-to-play, and you're earning those as a subscriber at this very moment.
You were speaking of the updates. There are a lot of updates that have been announced at E3, noticeably the Planet Macabre, the new planet. Will those major updates be free, or will have the players that subscribe or that don't subscribe to pay to access them?
It's a great question. So, Let me think of the right way to answer this. I don't want to confuse the issue. So our free-to-play players, the restrictions that are in place, if we put an update in the game, so for example, we've announced a new Warzone. There is a restriction around free-to-play players and Warzones, so that restriction will apply to any content that we put out. Our subscription players get access to any of that content, just like they do to the full game right now. We're still talking about what the future looks like as far as larger updates to the game. And as we get closer to things like that, we'll talk about it some more. But in the near term, as we look at things like ancient hypergates and the HK51 companion character, all of those are free to our subscribers.
Well, that's a good news. Good news. What can we expect to find in the future in-game store? In addition to pets and social gear, I mean, will we have experience potions, new races, vehicles?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm able to talk about all of those things right now. Like everything that you've talked about is definitely kind of categorically we're going to have, whether they be experience boosters, whether they be vanity items. In some cases, they might be vehicles or pets, but we're still kind of determining exactly what each phase of our MTX store will look like as we move forward. And as we get closer to release of free-to-play and MTX, we will talk about that some more.
When you will subscribe, once the free-to-play option is out, when you will subscribe, will you gain Cartel points mostly as it is before the subscription?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And will it be the same amount, another?
We're still talking about what the exact amounts are as a subscriber that you will receive. So I don't know if I can answer it right now. It'll be a good allowance of Cartel coins every month.
Okay. What will be approximately the cost of one Cartel point in dollars?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
We're literally still working out all of the economics around what each point is worth per dollar, so I'm not sure yet.
So I guess that's the same for the price of the objects in the in-game store.
Yeah, exactly.
The last question is, how do you respond to players saying that BioWare should have fixed the game issues that made the players leave before allowing a whole new pool to come in?
Before allowing, say that again?
Before allowing a whole new pool of players to come in with the free-to-play option.
Before going free-to-play?
Yeah.
I think, so I've had this question for years and years and years about MMOs, and I think that MMOs are never truly finished, and it's something that it's a labor of love that we will keep working on for years and years. My first MMO, Dark Age of Camelot, still open today. We're still working on that game. If you look at TOR, it's got a big, bright future ahead of it. And the game team is committed to improving, quote-unquote fixing, adding new content, doing all the things that our players want us to do. And if you look at the last 6-7 months, the amount of updates and the amount of things that we've put in the game they're staggering. Take the patch notes from 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. It's a massive amount of fixes, content, everything. And so we really are trying very hard to meet the desires and expectations of our players. And we'll continue to do that. I think it's a little unfair to say that we haven't done as much as we could or anything like that, because we've done so much, and we will continue to do a lot. And it's like, don't we want more players? Won't free-to-play bring a lot of new players to our game? Absolutely. Don't we all want more players to play with? Absolutely. It makes the game fun, makes the game interesting. It brings lots of players to the war zone so that we can murder them there. And we think it's the right time to do it. Waiting just doesn't make sense to us.
Well, that's a good sentence to end this interview. Thanks a lot, Jeff.
No problem.
And maybe see you another time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Thank you.